Hello, I'm happy to have you back here, and we have a puzzle which is not quite a math puzzle today. It's a logic puzzle. You need to understand maybe a little bit about hydraulics, the flow of water, and the question is, which tank will fill up first? I would say it's a logic puzzle. You have to use some logic thoughts. Just basic knowledge of gravity, law, and the flow of water, hydraulics, but basically it's logic. Trying to figure it out, what is the tank that will fill up first? Alright, we will get back to this puzzle at the end of the lesson. We will work today on chapter 3, graphs and functions. The section 3.5, equations of lines, and objective number 1 is going to be to graph a line using its slope and y-intercept. And let's go straight to an example. We have an equation here, y equals 2 over 3 x plus 1, and we can easily identify this equation is written in the slope-intercept form, right? Y equals mx plus b. Let me just change that. Yes. And m is the slope, which is 2 over 3. And the y-intercept is b. b equals to 1. First thing we find on the graph is the y-intercept. Y equals 1. And from this point, we're going to move, you remember, right, that the slope is rise over run. So let me write here. Rise over run equals 2 over 3. So from this point here, we're going to run 3 units. 1 through 3 units. And rise 2 units. Rise 2 units and find the second point. Now we have 2 points. We can draw a line representing the graph, which is this line here. Okay, that's how you graph a line, a linear equation using y-intercept and using the slope of the line. Another example we have here, 3x plus y equals negative 2. This one is not on the slope-intercept form. On the slope-intercept form, again, is y equals mx plus b, right? So we can change, we can work on this equation here, which is in the standard form, and make it as the slope-intercept form. Move everything on the left-hand side to the right-hand side, excuse me, and keep only y on the left-hand side. Let's work this out. So we have 3x plus y equals negative 2. Apply additional property of equality. Subtract 3x from both sides. And then we will have y equals negative 3x minus 2. Excuse me. Now we can find the slope is negative 3. And let's write down here negative 3 over 1 because it's rise over run. And the y-intercept negative 2. With this information, we can go to the rectangular coordinate system, find the y-intercept, that means the point where y equals negative 2 on the y-axis. Sorry, y-intercept negative 2. So on the y-axis, find negative 2, right here. From this point, we will run 1 unit 1 unit here, and rise -3. That means rise -3. Instead of rising, we actually going down, right? It's a negative number, so -3. And the other point is right here. Erase this, we don't need anymore. And the line is going to be this one, connecting the points, connecting the dots. This represents the equation 3x plus y equals -2. Next objective, using slope-intercept form to write equations of lines. And again, straight to an example. We'll write an equation of the line with y-intercept equals x equals 0, y equals -5, and slope of 2/3. Well, if slope is 2/3, that means m is 2/3. And if y-intercept is x equals 0, y equals -5, that means b equals -5. Apply these values on the slope-intercept form, and you will find the equation of the line as y equals 2/3 x minus 5. Okay. Objective 3 now, we will use point slope form to write the equation of lines. The point slope form of the equation of a line is this one. Let me write here again so we can memorize, we can remember. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M is the slope of the line, and the points x1 and y1, they are points on the line. This is one point on the line. Coordinate x equals x1 and coordinate y equals y1. And applying this equation, this formula on an example, find an equation of the line with slope equals -2 that passes through the points x equals -11, y equals -12. Write the equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, we will need this formula here, this y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, right? And then we can plug in the values that we know here, the information that we have from the question. Y minus y1 is going to be -12, right? Minus -12 equals m is the slope, -2 times x minus -11. Negative with negative positive, and we can apply distributive property here, and we will find -2 times x, -2x, -2 times, well, negative positive times 11, -22. To find the equation in the slope-intercept form, we need to have only y on the left-hand side, right? So let's get rid of this +12 by adding -12 on both sides. And then let's just align here underneath the number. And then we will have, as a result, y equals -2x, -22 minus 12, -34. the right answer. Okay, another example here. Write an equation of the line through x equals -4, y equals 0, and x equals 6, y equals -1. And we will use on this example the equation or the formula of the slope passing slope of a line passing through two given points, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's say this point here is number 1 and this point is the point number 2. Okay? y2 is going to be -1 minus 0 over, and x2 is 6 and x1 is -4 minus -4. This is equals to -1 over 6 minus -4, 6 plus 4, 10. The slope equals -1 over 10. Well, we found the slope. The next thing we need to find the equation using the slope-intercept form is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the line crosses or intersects the y-axis. That means it's where x equals 0. This is one way. Another way, if we don't have, check this out, we don't have on these points here, we don't have the y-intercept. See? So another way is by applying this formula here. We get 1 point, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Because we don't know the y-intercept, so we just have another point that's not the y-intercept. Y minus. And just a hint here. On this formula you can use y1 or y2. You just need to use the same set of coordinates. Let's use point 1, x equals -4 and y equals 0, right? So y1 equals 0, y minus 0 equals m. We just found m, -1 over 10 times x minus x1, -4. Right? Now simplify and we have y equals -1 over 10. Apply distributive property here. -1 over 10 times x, negative with negative positive, with negative, and 4 times 1 over 10, 4 over 10. Or you can simplify, and this is going to be 2 over 5. After you simplify, right, 2 over 5. This is the right answer. Just check and make sure we have the right answer. This is the answer using the slope-intercept form. Another way is answering using the standard form. We can find the standard form. We can rearrange, we can also simplify and get rid of the fractions. We can multiply both sides of this equation here by 10. And if we're looking for the standard form, after you do the simplifications, you have y equals -x minus 4 and 10y equals negative x minus 4. That means x plus 10y equals negative 4. Yes. So this way here we have the slope-intercept form, and that way here this form is the standard form. Let's work on another example, and now it is being asked here to write the equation of the line graphed. Write in standard form. So the question asks specifically to write in standard form. What we need to do first, try to identify some points of this line. And if we try to use the y-intercept, check it out, is a fraction. We cannot identify it very well from this graph. Maybe it would be better to work with integers, with points that we have the integer coordinates. So let's find a few points here. This have integer coordinates. This one also have integer coordinates, and this also have integer coordinates. Maybe this. Well, we can work on any of these points. Two sets of points are enough to find the slope and to find the equation of the line. Okay, let's say point 1 is this, point 2 is that. So point 1 is x equals negative 1, negative 1, y equals 4, and point 2, x equals 2, y equals 5. So apply into the equation of the slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? y2 is going to be 5, y1 4, so over x2 is 2, x1 is negative 1. Okay? That means m equals 5 minus 4, 1 over 2 minus negative 1, 3. 1 over 3. This is our slope. And we can check it here, because the slope is rise over run. So you can, we can actually check, let's say, we have run is 3 and rise is 1. Perfect. Yes, we have the right slope. Now we will apply the formula y minus y1 equals mx minus x1 to find the equation of the line. Y minus y1 is 4 equals m is 1 over 3, x minus and x1 negative 1. Great. We can apply distributive property here, and then we will have this is equals 1/3 of x, negative with negative positive, plus 1 over 3, right? And another thing that we can do is apply the addition property of equality, adding 4 on both sides. If we add 4 on both sides, we will have y equals 1 over 3 x plus 4 times 3 12 plus 1, 13 over 3. Remember that the question is asking to answer in standard form, and this is slope-intercept form. And let me borrow some space here. Let me borrow this space. If we want to work to show this in standard form, we need to move x to the other side of the equation, and then you're going to have negative 1 over 3 x plus y equals 13 over 3. And we can also get rid of the fractions and multiply all the equation by 3, and I have negative x plus 3y equals 13. That's the answer using the standard form. Okay, let's move to the next example. Let me clean this up so we don't mix things. Example now is about a word problem, and let's read it. In 1997, Window World Inc. had 50 employees. In 2012, the company had 85 employees. Let X represent the number of years after 1997, and let Y represent the number of employees. A. Assume that the relationship between years and numbers of employees is linear. It's important, so we will work with a linear equation. Write an equation describing this relationship. And B. Use the equation to predict the number of employees in 2007. The first thing here, we have the points. We have point 1, point 1. So we have the employees, it's going to be Y, and the number of years is X, right? For point 1, Y1 is 50, and the year is going to be year 0. 1997 is year 0. So let's say this is year 0. X1 equals 0. And this is Y1. 0 and 50. What about point number 2? For point number 2, we have the year is 2012. So X2, you need to subtract 2012 from 1997 to find the number of years that were passed from 1997. And this is going to be 2012 minus 1997 is 15. X2 equals 15. And Y2 is going to be equal to, where's Y2? Yes, here. 85. This is Y2. After you identify the 2 points that you have available, the coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, you are going to be able to calculate the slope, because the slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And that's going to be y2, 85 minus 50 over x2 is 15 minus 0. And then we will have here as a result 85 minus 50, 35 over 15. M equals 35 divided by 15. And we can simplify, we have 7 over 3. This is the slope, right? Now we can use the formula y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 to find the equation of the line. Y minus y1 is 50, right? Equals m times m, we found m, sorry, 7 over 3 times x minus x1 is 0. To find the slope-intercept formula, we can apply distributive property. Check it out. Distributive property, and this is 0. We can just write down here 7 over 3x, right? And we can apply also additional property of equality. You can add 50 on both sides of this equation. So we have y equals 7 over 3x plus 50. The question asks here, first, write an equation, so we find the equation, but in letter B, use the equation to predict the number of employees in 2007. So this is the answer for letter A. This is the slope-intercept form of the equation. And now we need to calculate what's going to be the number, the estimate, the prediction of the number of employees in 2007. 2007, let's first calculate what's going to be, let's say 2007, yes. Let's say 2007 is 0.3, so x3 is going to be 2007 minus 1997. The number of years passed from 1997 is 10 years, right? Plugging into the equation, and we have y equals 7 over 3 times 10 plus 50. And the number of employees, if you calculate it, it's going to be an approximation. Of course, it's an integer number. There's 73 employees in 2007. Okay? Now moving on to objective number 4. Write equations of vertical and horizontal lines. This example asks to write the equation of a horizontal line containing the point x equals 4, y equals 5. If it's a horizontal line, I'm going to sketch real quickly here the graph, x and y. Find here where is the horizontal line, so let's say y equals 5, right? And it's going to be a line like that, passing, intersecting the y-axis on y equals 5. A horizontal line have m equals 0. The slope is equal 0. We have seen this last section. That means if we try, just as an exercise, to use the slope-intersect form, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, this is equals to 0, because we will subtract, in this situation here, y equals 5, and y is always going to be equals to 5, equals 0. So think about the slope-intersect form, y equals mx plus b. This is going to be 0. Y equals the y-intercept, y equals 5. This is the equation of a horizontal line. Y equals to the y-intercept. Now write the equation of a line containing the point 4, x equals 4 and y equals 5 with undefined slope. If you remember last section, the equation that has an undefined slope, or the line that has an undefined slope, is the vertical line, right? The vertical line has an undefined slope. For x equals 4, this vertical line here is the one that has undefined slope. We know that undefined slope is, we will have a defined slope if you have a vertical line, and the equation of a vertical line is x equals c, or in this case here, in this example, x equals 4. That's the answer. Objective number 5, finding equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let's work on this example. Let's say we have to write an equation of the line containing the points x equals -2, y equals 4, and is parallel to the line x plus 3y equals 6. So the first thing we have to find is the slope of this equation here. Check it out. X plus 3y equals 6. Change into the slope-intersect form, and you can apply additional property of equality, subtract or add -5, -x to both sides of the equation. Then you will have this simplifies, have 3y equals -x plus 6. Now we multiply both sides by 1/3. So if we do this, we have the slope-intersect form of this equation, which is y equals -1/3 x plus 2. Great. If we have this slope-intersect form, it's very easy to identify the slope, right? Because the slope is going to be m equals 1/3, -1/3, and if this line here is parallel, that means you have the same slope, but we'll pass through a different point. We can apply this formula now, because we have one point of the line, the slope times x minus x1. x1 is -4, y1 is 4, x1, sorry, is -2, y1 is 4, so y minus 4 equals -1/3 x minus -4, right? Sorry, wrong. X minus -2. Apply distributive property. have y minus 4 equals negative 1 over 3 x, negative is negative positive, times negative negative, negative 2 over 3. And now apply addition property of equality, add 4 on both sides, and you will have the equation of the line parallel is y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 10 over 3. Next example. Write the equation of the line containing the point 3, x equals 3, y equals negative 5, and perpendicular to the line 3x plus 2y equals 7. Well, we have to find again the m, the slope, and we have 3x plus 2y equals 7. Transform into slope intersect form, and you will have 2y equals negative 3x plus 7, and divide both sides by 2, and then you will have y equals negative 3 over 2 x plus 7 over 2. Right? So I applied addition property of equality, multiplication property of equality, and we found the equation of the line m equals negative 3 over 2. If the lines are perpendicular, you're going to multiply. Let's say this is m1, and we want to find m2. m1 times m2 equals negative 1. If you substitute the value of m1 here, negative 3 over 2, you're going to find m2 equals 2 over 3. So be able to have the multiplication, the result of the product here equals to negative 1. The line containing the points 3 and negative 5, you will find out by applying y minus y1, negative 5, equals 2 over 3, and x minus 3. The answer, let me borrow here some space. After you simplify, you will find out the answer to this. Is this the same one? Ah, yes, we can continue here. Y plus 5 equals 2 over 3, and apply distributive property. 2 over 3x minus 2 over 3 times negative 3 is negative 2. Addition property, negative 5 on both sides. And then you have y equals 2 over 3x minus 7. This is going to be the answer. This is the line, the equation of the line, perpendicular to this line and passing, containing these points. Right? This is going to be the right answer. Okay, that's it. We finished section 3.5. Now have a look at our puzzle. It's not a math puzzle, it's a logic puzzle. If you think about it, you can try to fill out this tank with water, and the water will overflow to tank number 2. And then at this point here, the water is overflowing to tank number 3. And then tank number 3 will fill at some point here, at this point, when the water is starting to flow to tank number 4. But on this point here, the water stops to fill out, to fill up tank number 4, and we'll accumulate here on 3. See, because they have the same level, kind of the same level. And at this point, if the tank number 3 doesn't have a lid or something to close it, the water will overflow. That means that the only tank that will be completely full will be tank number 3. The other tanks will not fill up, will not be full at all. The answer is tank number 3. That's it. Thank you for watching the video, and as usual, I hope to meet you on the next section.